to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the July 14th, 2025 meeting. And we're right on time, 7 o'clock. I just want to, first, before we get into anything, I want to thank Judy Roselle for picking up my son today from football practice at 7:15. Otherwise, I would not be here. So thank you, Judy. And then also, I want to, if everybody looks around, we have a unique individual in the room. Can you tell everybody your name?
Phil McKinley.
Okay, Phil McKinley is the proxy here in place of, who are you in place of?
Jeff Blake.
Yes. So this is, it may be unique and nobody has seen this type of proxy before, but it is exactly permitted through Indiana code that if he chose Phil as a proxy and Phil filled out the proper paperwork and it's written, signed, and given to the board, that he can be the proxy while he's gone. So we welcome you here today, and it's kind of a unique way of doing it. I think none of us have seen that before, but it is totally on the up and up, and we're glad to have you.
And Jeff said that Yvonne would keep me in order.
Oh, perfect, perfect, and I can see it. She's right over there ready to, tell you what to do. No, I'm kidding. All right, so first on our agenda is the announcements, and we have Clear Creek Conservancy with Dwayne Kelly.
Dwayne Kelly, 282 Patriots Landing. I just want to announce that we normally would have a conservancy meeting this Thursday morning. Two of my board members are not going to be there, so we don't have a quorum, so we're canceling the July meeting.
Okay.
And also, I'd like to remind everybody that's listening, again, be extremely careful what you flush down your stool. No diapers. We're getting all kinds of stuff that shouldn't be in the sewage system. So just a reminder of everybody to take a look at that and be careful what you do.
Thank you. Now we have the Floyd Township Fire Department. I don't see Jeff. So we will move on past Neighborhood Watch with no report to HLCS with Rick Miller.
No report.
No report, easy. Now Hellnack with Donna McGinley.
Yes. I just want to remind folks that we're preparing now for the Vote Poker Run, which is going to be on August 16th. You can find registration forms if you want to be in the poker run at the marina and here at the POA office. And you can turn your return your registration forms with your check or cash to either the marina or here to the office. I think I try to keep it well stocked, so there should be forms available. You can also go online and fill in. There's a code that you can, a QC code, QR code, whatever those are, that you can do it online through JetterUp and charge the expenses if you want to do that. We're still looking for a dock host or two, and if you're interested, you do have to be in the main body or close to it or in a wide cove. We have so many boats involved. And if you're interested, please call Heather Ludlow at 317-698-2311. The only other event we have coming up soon is the Wine Fest. That will be on September 20th. And we're not going to put that announcement in the highlights until the September issue, but we will start taking reservations on August 25th. As everyone knows, that fills up really quick. We have an attendance cap of 75 people, and we usually fill up within a couple of days. So if you're interested, like I said, beginning August 25th, you can contact Valeria. That information will also be posted on the various Facebook sites in August, so you can begin as soon as the registration period opens. Thank you.
And one thing on that, just so everybody knows, we are going to be doing the same thing as we did last year as far as security patrolling the lake during the poker run, that we are gonna have no towables, no skiing, no wakeboarding, during the time that the boats are picking up cards. I'm not quite sure what that time frame is right now. I think noon to 4. So again, no skiing, no wakeboarding, no tubers during that time frame. But I will announce that again, and we will have exact times posted on that in the future. All right, now on to the security call report. And who do we have for that, sir?
Dwight.
Yeah,
Is that me? Dwight Simmons, I'm filling in for Chief Deputy Sullivan tonight. Just a brief overview, I guess is what he does instead of going out through all of these, but for the month of June, a couple of 911 hangups. There were like 9 administrative calls. Those encompass a different, number of different things. A lot of those are probably VIN checks that we're doing. However, it also encompasses signal 30s, which is special patrols. So you might see a deputy sitting in a certain area running radar. It just means he's logged out with dispatch that he's in the area. So I think you're going to see a lot more of that in the future. We had 6 animal calls, probably dogs, but you never know in this country. 4 intrusion and panic alarms. We had 4 lockouts for public assistance, some suspicious activity, and kind of ran the gambit. We had 3 warrant or paper service. A lot of that is probably protective order, it could be civil papers. But about it.
great, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Okay, now we're on to the presentation of agenda.
Thank you.
So I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor? All right. Then on to the presentation of minutes. First A, the June 9th board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. Then on to the June 30th operations meeting.
Motion to accept.
Second? All in favor? Now on to the treasurer's report.
Ooh, that's me. Woo! All right, for the month of June, total income was $262,017. Total expenses for the month were $165,963, with a total positive income of $96,054. Year-to-date total revenue, $1,144,310. Total expenses for the year so far, $936,024, which leaves us in the positive $208,286. At the end of June, our short-term positions for cash are $735,440. Total investments, CDs and money markets, are $93,293. Total available cash, all in all, $828,733.
Anything else? That's it? Thank you very much.
Easy breezy.
Then we're on to the board committee reports. First with A&E. Linda? She's not here. Okay. Are you, anybody filling in for Linda?
I am, but she doesn't give me anything to cover.
Okay.
Any.
Perfect. Easy as pie. We will address it next time. Then on to the campground.
Meeting Saturday at 10 o'clock. That's all we have. Pretty
Easy.
quiet.
Cleanup committee.
We have a Shred It event in the clubhouse parking lot on August 9th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
The government, Rick Olson.
Yeah, Rick Olson, 51 Mill Springs. I had talked to you before about the projects that are going on around the lake. They did finish the horseshoe that was done by the county, chip and seal, and I drove it. Looks like they did a pretty good job down there. I'm understanding, I'll take this with a grain of salt, but Clint is supposed to keep me informed that Milestone should be working on the Canaan Church Road that heads down to Coatesville. He said by the middle of July, which it is now, so I would guess maybe by the end of July, that'll take off. And if, in the past, when Milestone has done those paving jobs, they allow people to get by. So I can't guarantee that because that's a pretty narrow road. The other thing is, if you do have potholes that, need attention, just call the Putnam County Highway Department. I say just do that, but be nice, and if they get enough squeaky wheels, they'll maybe give it to you.
Do you have that number?
Any questions? I don't have it on.
It is. Thank you.
Lake Committee. Oh, anything else? Is that it? And the Lake Committee with Mike?
Okay, so Lake Committee wise, we have a balance of about 25,000 in the account, which is nice. Sponsor money slowly coming in, we still need a bit more. Silent auction donors, still need a few of those. There's gonna be a flyover at 3:30, which would be kinda cool. So apparently I don't know who this is, but Mid Indiana Marine is doing the flyover. I don't know if it said Marines or just Marine, I think it's Marine. And apparently our new tractor is keeping our beaches clean.
So you're speaking of the event with Feast and Ski, correct?
Sorry, of the Feast and Ski, yes, sorry.
And the date of that is?
You know what, I don't have that date on
July
there.
26th.
July.
Yes, it is.
July 26th, noon
Thank you, Rick.
until approximately 10 p.m. Most of the Feast and Ski events end at 5. That's when the silent auction closes.
Right.
And you can claim, if you win the silent auction, you'll be notified by email, and you can claim it at the clubhouse that evening. But the band starts at 6 and should play till about 10.
Nice.
Thank you, Beth.
No report for clean water, so we're,
One thing I wanted to say.
Sure.
The health department scheduled for me to bring the water in tomorrow.
Super.
So
Thank you.
You should have it for the next board.
Great.
no report for, clean water except for that. Then we have long-term planning with Rick Olson.
So we have been meeting. The number of people has been kind of sparse, probably because of the summer as much as anything. But we went through kind of an organizational mode, agreed to a mission statement and objective. Did Jeff turn that into the board yet? I don't. Okay, I didn't see it, and I missed the last couple. I apologize. It just basically, how we're going to approach things and in what direction we're going. One of the things we've been talking about is a strategic plan. There was one performed in 2014 by an outside consultant, and we feel that we can, with the people that we have on the committee, we formed an ad hoc committee to look at that, and hopefully we can get another person on there. But Tom has agreed to be on that. He was involved with the first one, and then Kelly sides, and maybe we'll get another one too. But so we're going to take that ad hoc committee, put it together, it'll come to the committee, and we'll look at it as well, and then eventually we'll submit it to the board for approval. We just thought that instead of spending as much money as we did last time, we don't feel like that's necessary this time unless you guys want to spend a lot of money. Also we're going to be, we're planning to do a survey of the residents to try to get input from folks of what they would like to see. And of course that input will be incorporated into the strategic plan as well. We have been discussing a few items of interest that Jeff Blades passed out some 3x5 cards to our group and I think some others as well, and just got some input on what people would like to see. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then a little bit about funding for these sources, possibly the foundation, possibly grants, things like that. So just kind of looking into the future and trying to figure out where we need to go, what we need to do. So any Any questions on that?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Now we are on to the siltation report. I don't see Chris Schubert. So no siltation report, no election report. So it's the manager's report.
Okay, well, I certainly hope everybody has enjoyed the fireworks show. Mortonville Fireworks from Bainbridge has been responsible for several local shows, and they do us a very good job. They are also the contractor that does Greencastle Show, and they'll tell you that we have the best show in Putnam County. About half of the funding comes from donations that are from our members, and the rest is paid for by the POA. I'd like to send a thank you to all those people that send a little extra money at the first of the year when they send in their assessments. So thank you for your generosity. Just an update on the Lincoln Park outside restroom where a large tree had fallen on the building during a storm. Working through our insurance company, it's been considered a total loss. It has some structural damage. So we'll be working through our insurance company to get that replaced, and I'll keep everybody updated. Lake Security has been addressing many violations this season, beginning with the date of 5/15 through 7/14. Just within 2 months, we've had 56 violations that have been addressed. Not having your POA card and not having your orange flag present while someone's in the water has been several of those violations. Also like to thank you for being respectful to the lake security officers, but please know the rules and keep it safe. Finally, the Psalms Haven financial numbers. Ed Psalm met with him last night. He stated that the week of July 4th, he had a record sales week of $60,000. He wanted to thank everybody for their support. That's about $4,200 back to us. Through June, payment made to the POA was $12,646. Through this 6 months of this year has been $42,269 versus the same time last year of $40,818, $1,451 increase over prior year. That's it.
Thank you very much. Now we are on to old business. And the first is the hunting and target practice rule. And after much discussion, meetings with the sheriff's department, presentations from Benny, presentations from the sheriff's department, and discussion with the prosecutor, we have a proposed miscellaneous rule that is in front of all of the board members. I'll read it out loud. And to ensure the safety of all Heritage Lake residents and guests, no hunting, trapping, target practice, or discharge of firearms and/or archery equipment will be allowed within Heritage Lake waters, shoreline, common properties, all private lots within the Heritage Lake community, and all Clear Creek Conservancy properties. This time I'd be asking for a motion to adopt this as a new proposed rule.
Can we have any discussion?
Yes.
Usually comes after a motion.
As you're aware, I attended the operations meeting as a guest, and knew this was on the agenda, and did quite a lot of research. And there are a couple of suggestions I might want to suggest might be included. One of them is that almost all the laws that are out there in various towns that have such laws say with reasonable exceptions for law enforcement and self-defense. And I wonder if we'd want to include anything like that in our rule. The other thing that we might want to consider is some communities do develop areas for target range shooting. So I wonder if we would also want to consider putting in something as also an exception with areas that might be developed by or approved by the HL board.
I think we briefly had that discussion with our insurance company, and they kind of put a kibosh to that.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, the insurance agent that we use told me that for the POA to sanction and/or construct a practice facility, would be, his term, Lloyd's of London expensive. And because of that, we've not given it any serious consideration.
I'm not opposed to adding the language for law
Law enforcement
enforcement.
or self-defense.
Right, I think it's a given, but.
Sorry.
Yes, so was hunting on.
All right, I'm not listening to anybody in the audience until there's the open forum. If you want to discuss something, we can bring it up during the open forum, but not now. And if you keep talking now, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I just want to hear about the expansion.
We're not talking about that right now. If you want to talk about the expansion, we can talk about it at the appropriate time.
It's coming up.
Okay, so at this point, I would look for any motion to approve the language as written with,
My proposed addition was with reasonable exceptions for law enforcement and so.
I don't have a problem with adding that. I think it's a given, it's not gonna affect the language of the rule, but again,
I guess I object to putting the language in the rule because I consider that a constitutional right that we should not be involved in that discussion. Okay?
so I'll ask again a motion for the language as printed in front of everybody at this point.
I make a motion to accept this language printed in front of us.
Is there a second? And any other discussion? Motion to approve? Or, excuse me, all in favor?
3, 4, 5, 6.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Okay, then the first vote passes as written, as I said initially, not with the additional language.
Can I ask just what rule book that's in? Sorry, it's just not clear. There's so many rule books.
We can address it at the, in the open forum here in a minute. And this is the first vote. Also on this, we will be having Benny post the PowerPoint presentation that we had at prior meetings that addressed this, which I think brought this down to bare bones for most of the board members when Benny went out into the community and took a lot of photographs of people's backstops and hunting setups. That'll be posted, we'll do it on
our website, and if I can't, Facebook, I don't know.
okay. So whatever we can do, either Facebook or our website for sure, just to show the community what we were working with in coming to this decision. All right, now on to old business B, the restaurant expansion.
Okay, as I'll wing it here. Yeah, it is, it is. In my book, I thought. Kind of start off with the, this is kind of driven by the health department. We've got a couple choices with the health department. Has requested that Ed Som come up with a plan to fix the volume that he does versus the prep area that he has. Is not, with the volume he's doing, it's not, his prep area is not sufficient. So basically the two choices that we have is he has to cut the menu drastically, or we had looked at expanding 10 feet onto the back of the restaurant and kind of dress up the back of the house a little bit to make it look nice from the beach side, which is a very active area. with that being said, we went out, Ben and I has been working on some numbers to have that done, to extend it out 10 foot, about 42 feet, which is the length of the back end. And right now, the estimated number is around $78,000, and that is just material only. The contractor that lives out here, James Carroll and Aspire Group, has offered to do it, his labor pro bono. They're not gonna charge us. They're looking, if approved, they are looking to start this project right after Labor Day. They have a free couple months before they maybe tackle an addition in Greencastle. They're looking at a couple month project, being over in November, December timeframe. We've been in communication, updating this information. Everything's got to get, even once it gets approved through the board, if it gets approved, it's got to get approved by the health department. They want to make sure that what we're doing is going to meet their needs. So, we've talked about this for several meetings. As I said last meeting, that it was going to be my job to figure out how we're going to pay for it. Looking through what I do when I make out our budget, is once I captivate all the numbers for every line item, whatever is left to balance our budget, I put it in our building and grounds repair. And I simply do that because we never know what happens around here. So it's better off to have the money. So we had about 4 projects that we were going to be working on. With the addition of a gentleman that donated money to build a dock out here for the concert, we had not planned on doing that. That money has already been paid to us. So that'll be probably towards the end of the season, the last project we have. So the additional new boat slips, there's no way that we can get this accomplished this year. That was going to be about $120,000. So that's where I plan on, would be to pull the money from the building and grounds repair, and apply it to the 78,000 that it would estimate to get that done. I've shared with you guys the prints of it. It's strictly going to be, like I said, just prep area. It's not going to be designed for cooking, no hoods, no additional equipment. He's going to supply the tables. After talking to him last night, he absolutely agreed to an additional 5-year contract. I think his name is George Drury that lives out here. Does all of his contracting information, and so he said he would be in touch with George if we decided to move forward with that. He anticipates, looking back through the numbers, this is his 4th year, I believe, and there's not been 1 month that the sales have turned backwards. Last year was right at about $90,000 we were paid for it. So with that being in a nutshell, he feels like that it's going to continue to grow, revenue for us. So if you figure, an average of 85,000 for the last 4 years, he's paid us about 320,000 back towards that. But so that's where we're at. It's we're kind of, and I think, like I said at our ops meeting, that I don't think we had him out here for hamburgers and french fries and pizza. I mean, I think they have a pretty good selection of food that they change in and out. And obviously the public must enjoy it. So at this point, open for discussion, comments. But if it's something that we approve, we've got, August, September, so we got about 2 more months before he would start construction on it.
And Ken, with the projections that you gave us on the drawings and everything, that will satisfy the Board of Health's requirements for him? And I think you guys were adding water and sinks too.
We were
on
gonna
top
go,
of that.
yeah, we were gonna go ahead and plumb it for water, just for future, Ed Board of Health said that we didn't need water back there if that's what it's gonna be used for prep area. I told him I'd rather just add the water lines now than 10 years from now having to cut into the walls, and it just, for minimal money, we could,
Have it there.
and not have to mess with it later. So, yes, from what I've explained to them, but they want to see the final blueprints that's approved if it goes through. So they just want to see that there's, when I talked to them on the phone, the size that we were discussing was going to be ample enough room for the volume that they do.
And the backside, this improves the whole view of the backside, is that right?
It does. We're gonna add some lighting to the, not lighting, windows up above, across the back, and it'll have another pitched roof that it'll make, the back of it look as good as the front. And then there's gonna be a couple storage areas with some fencing on the corners to where it gives them a place to get rid of their kegs and stuff like that that they normally set out there. And then we're gonna add a little bit of a concrete area in front of the beach area that will add some outdoor seating. So it'll really, really clean it up back there.
Anything else?
Will the door still be there that the servers use to get to the outdoor area?
Yes.
Or will it be a new
There
exit?
there
or
will be another access, but it will be on, if you're,
farther out?
it'll be on the very end.
Okay.
It'll be on the, picture the addition coming out 10
Right.
feet. On the very end, where
Right. The south
like a
end.
truck would be backing in,
Yeah.
it would be on that end. I wanted to put it in the middle to make it look like a front end of a store, if you will. But he wanted it on the end because that was gonna take away from that wall. So,
So at this point, do we have a motion to approve this proposal?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And just for comment, as far as the budget, this is the same line item, so there's nothing that needs to be voted on to change where the funding is already appropriated. So it's in the same line item for all you financial people. Okay, now on to, well, since that passes first vote, we'll move on to old business C, A&E rule modification, Rule 407, paragraph 15. I think Linda's not here, and I don't know if she gave anyone her proxy to do that, so we will move that to our next meeting.
Rick.
Unless.
She did give-
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she
Okay.
called, sorry.
Okay, so do you have any comment, or did she give you some outline or
She did not
references
give
to
me any
this?
follow-up on this particular rule at this time, besides what's in the agenda. But the current,
minutes.
the current reads
The
application for
minutes
the
had it
construction of
stated.
dock, boat lift, and or boathouse must include a new plot plan
Last
and
page.
drawn by a licensed surveyor, which shows the exact placement of the structure within the property lines, projected into the water with structure dimensions clearly marked. The property lines must be staked by the surveyor within a minimum of 2 stakes on each side. Lot sideline, at least 1 stake on each side must be visible from the water. Her proposed addition, or the A&E's proposed addition, is a portalet must be on site during construction of a permanent covered boat lift. Proposed new paragraph under Rule 407, paragraph 17, In order to ensure that the property owners have a financial stake in the Heritage Lake community, there must be a house on the lot in order to construct a permanent covered boat lift, defined as a roof or deck structure whose supports are immovable, that is used as a boat lift,
That's it.
and that's it.
And that's the language as proposed for the
Yes.
change?
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
All in favor of the proposed rule change? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? It passes. This is our first vote, correct?
Yes. Phil, did you
He abstained.
abstain?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we have no new business.
Hold on.
I keep forgetting Nina.
No, and our first vote on that was, last month.
Okay, so this is the second vote.
Second vote.
So that is final and has been or will be added.
And then, may I correct myself, the shredded event for the cleanup committee is not August 9th, it is August 2nd, 9 AM to 11 AM in the clubhouse parking lot. That is all.
Thank you for the correction. So we're on to now new business. We have no new business, open forum. So anyone who is here would like to talk, we'll do it one at a time.
Margot Wills, 280 Lincoln Hills. Just a question I posed earlier, what, as far as the hunting and miscellaneous rule, what rule book is that in that rule is changing? So we had like 4 rule books.
It would have to be in the general rule book.
Not the lake rule book, because that's where the miscellaneous rule is now for the common properties. Is that what's changing, or you're putting in a new rule?
I would say that it would go into a general rule book.
Yeah,
If
That's
that
what
was
I'm
my-
asking, I mean, we're voting
Yeah.
on it, I
It's-
just, I
it'll
want to
be
be
in the
clear
general
for everybody,
rules.
you know, so we're all on the same page.
It'll be in the general rules.
That's where it makes sense for it to be.
Under miscellaneous,
Yes.
okay, and then, we also, we have circulated a petition for the members of the POA that are opposed to this, hunting and, I guess firearms and archery complete ban, that we haven't really had much discussion on, you know, some options for shooting archery targets safely. But we have over 200 signatures, and it's growing, of the members out here that don't want this to pass. I just want to put that forward. I brought a copy of it today. If I can present it to the board, I'm not sure really how to present that kind of stuff to the board. I've asked a couple of times, but I don't really get a clear answer on how to submit a petition.
I think
Just
you can
submit it to the office.
Right, you could provide it to the office and it'll circulate to all the board members.
Okay.
And then
Do
if you
need
have-
copies, or do you want it electronically? Is
You
there
can
a
send,
fax
you
way?
can drop the copies off, I'll scan it and send it down.
Okay, so there's one copy. Got another question, but I'll think about it and come back. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Chris Daigle, 145 Patriots Landing. Right now, do we think it's fiscally responsible to dump money into Psalms? Let them cut the menu in half, because people are going, yeah, it's summertime, so it's packed, but people don't go out like they used to. Let them cut it in half, they'll make more money. I see that out my window every winter, and I drive over the dam every winter. You can't tell me that Psalms at Heritage Lake makes a profit 12 months a year. That's a joke. It might be Psalms as a whole, because I've been to several of his other restaurants. But I just think it's ridiculous, and I also want to thank you for letting our sheriff and our police protect us by, you know, kind of putting that rule in there that sheriff's allowed to use a weapon. Thank you.
That rule's not in there.
Oh, it's not yet? Well, I just want to say thanks for, you know, talking about it. I'm glad you're letting law enforcement use it.
Well, don't worry, that rule's not in there.
Exactly. Even Rick Miller said something about that.
So I think if you understand how this works, we have to present what people say to everybody for a discussion. So just because something was discussed does not mean it's incorporated into a rule. But we do live in a democracy.
And we live in a neighborhood where a lot of money dictates what's going on. And this guy on the end is the one that started the whole damn archery stuff.
And I will,
wanna
wait,
ask the
one at a
sheriff
time,
How
one at a
many
time.
times he's been called because somebody was hit with a bow? How many?
Only takes
I
one.
ain't never heard nothing.
Only takes one.
All right, and I do want to address one other thing.
too.
All right, one
What's the
at a time, or I'm not gonna call you. Do you not wanna get called?
No, that's fine, you don't
All
have to
right.
call me.
And one other thing you addressed, if you wanna see the financials of the money we've received from Psalms every month,
You receive
all
money, I
year
don't disagree
long.
with you on that. However, to say that they make a profit every month is BS, because I sit there and I look out, and I'm like, damn, Terry, I don't know how they make it.
But they're paying us,
Heritage Lake receives money every month.
they're paying us every
No,
month.
yeah, and I get that, but what was stated was that they make a profit every month. Here, hey, I bet this guy's behind.
You have
the
any more,
expansion.
or are you done?
I just wanna know what you wanna do with the property across the street from me since
There's
Terry.
a lot of money already on that place.
I would just answer your question with, if a person in business does not make enough money to move forward.
They ask the homeowners to pay for
Excuse
it.
me. If a person in business does not make money, why would he sign a new 5-year lease if we're gonna do this?
Because you guaranteed the homeowners will pay for it. You prove that.
Thank
That's
you.
not
All I have to say.
Oh, we'll hit him and then back to you.
David Carroll, 369 Gettysburg. So the 78,000 for future expansion is gonna cover everything that we have to pay towards the health department to make Psalms a good deal, right? So there's no other expansion they're gonna have to make
After that,
after that. Now and in the future.
shouldn't be.
Because we've seen it so many times that we're gonna dump money into this and we're gonna expand it. And then 5 years later, you're gonna come back and you're gonna say, all right, we need another 80,000.
We only have one restaurant, sir, that was built
And
one
there's
time.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you at all on that, and I eat there.
There's no more room to, after we do this expansion, there's probably not gonna be any more room.
So then, once the demand is more than the supply we've got, what do?
Take the beach.
We just shut it down?
Why would
After
you
we
do
got-
that? You just
You know what I'm
have,
saying?
Go ahead.
that's a silly argument. So if you have increased demand, at some point you just don't see people anymore. So you don't just
So you could not see
expand.
people now
Yeah, they have a longer
and
wait
not
time.
spend the 80,000.
It's not about seating people, it's
No.
about the health department approving the volume that we currently have,
Right.
that we're currently meeting.
It's a health issue.
It's not additional seating.
No, I understand that.
It's
It's
prep area
additional
in
prep
the kitchen.
area. I get that. I totally understand that.
She's gonna talk to you like you're stupid, Dave, let's go.
But if we're gonna dump 80 in now, and then we're just gonna turn people away, what's the point in putting the 80 in now?
No, we're not up to snuff right now, is what their health department is saying.
There's
We
no
don't
way-
have the correct amount of prep space currently for what we're doing currently. So we would have to reduce the menu, if I understand this correctly?
Correct.
As Ken said, right? You'd have to reduce the menu in order for them to have the same prep area.
To please the health department, it would drastically have to be reduced.
But what's the difference between
Yeah,
the
so-
expansion of the beach and the decorative side of things and the actual need for the health department?
What's
For the
the
meal prep?
We're giving him
definition of
10
drastically?
We're giving him 400 some odd more square feet of prep area so that he will be able to separate. I've never been in a restaurant, I've never been in that
That's
house.
why I'm
just saying,
asking this.
what
I
I'm
have
being,
no idea.
what we are being told is there has to be separation of things between each other. Certain amount of footages and square feet and whatnot. So, we're just going based off what the health department is telling us.
This isn't a request from Psalms.
At all.
This is
No,
a request from the
I
health
totally
department.
get it.
And
It's
and
the
if you
Department of
understand,
Health.
and
I
if you
totally
understand,
that.
if you understand that we actually own the building, not him,
No,
and we've had to provide all that, so all of this
we
stuff.
as in, us.
Every person in
All,
this room lives here.
not just we,
other
I
than
get it,
Dwight.
yeah, I get it, I promise.
Yeah.
Everybody here we're all members here, other than Dwight.
That's why I'm asking about the 80 grand, I get
And
it,
that's what we're saying.
I promise.
But it's one of those things where, I don't even know how to.
I think I can answer your question.
Thank
So
you.
if the health department says to serve food safely to the public, you gotta have, like AJ said, you gotta have it all spread out and get it ready and whatever, right?
Okay,
And if we don't really expand seating area, other than maybe a few more tables on the concrete, let's say we expanded the seating twofold. Well, then I would expect another expansion in 5 years.
Yeah, you're gonna need
Right?
another
So
building.
we're not gonna, right, so we're not gonna
Yeah.
expand the seating so much. Glad if he's full and he's making profit, awesome, but we're not, other than a couple outdoor tables, with this expansion and this current volume that keeps the health department happy, keeps us safe eating, food-wise, but unless we say, oh, you know what, we're gonna build a whole nother concrete patio with 50 more tables, well, then we're gonna have to expand. We're not doing that. There's no more room for that. Basically, what we're doing now is gonna probably max us out in that spot.
So there's absolutely no chance we're gonna need any other money.
There should be no other expansion after this, right?
Well, you know,
Well, we're never gonna
I'm
say
just
always.
asking.
Not
We're
never.
never gonna say always.
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me to never say never.
Yeah, you can't, that can't be a
But-
finite statement.
I'm a lawyer, I won't say never.
But the expectations are, this is it.
So we didn't have the foresight or the planning to see we needed more from the beginning?
If
No,
we
it's
would
too
have
risky.
done that,
I'm just
if we
asking.
would have done that, then people would have chewed us up, had we had a bunch of empty seats.
Yeah.
And,
I got you.
and if it didn't go forward, you know.
We needed to see the volume first. And honestly, I don't think we anticipated that this would be a problem with the health department
Right.
until it came to our attention.
And we get the added benefit of making the backside look so much better and having more storage.
And if
It is gonna look so much better
And if-
from the opposite side where a lot of people don't see except whoever lives over there.
And if Psalms gets busier and there aren't any more tables, then the wait time would be a little longer. But the area that we're adding on is still the same area for the number of tables and the food they're serving for the space we have right now.
If you, and I would be happy to take you back there. If you would go back in the kitchen and see how small,
No,
what
it's
they,
tiny.
what they do
I've
back
somewhat
there.
been back there, I get it.
They're cutting food and above a board on top of a sink, and it
Right.
just, that's what caught the Board of Health's attention. And it's not being done properly,
And we don't wanna go to hot dogs
And
and
that's more
hamburgers.
that I just wanted to understand was, like, where is this coming from totally?
Health
Like I get it, if they got a cutting board over a sink, they probably need a little more.
So
room.
then they would have to
It's
go
not
to
that-
hamburgers and hot dogs.
Oh.
It's not that hard, right?
Right, so we like the menu now.
So after this 78,000 or whatever,
There's zero
we
anticipation to do
don't have
it
any
again.
room to
Right.
go anywhere
Right,
else,
right,
basically.
Right, that's what we feel, yeah.
the only place, if I could tell you, the only place that we could ever go, and that would be down the road, we're going to have to address it, is our fuel tanks. Those fuel tanks at some
Right there,
point in
yeah.
time have got to become above the ground. Benny and I has met with.
It's gonna be above the ground containment eventually, right?
Kinda.
With the concrete, yeah.
Yeah, we've met with them, it's coming, we don't know exactly when, but it's coming. And if we ever did any, my thought, we can't do it now because there's tanks out there, but I think it'd be kind of cool to rip the grass out, beach it with some sand and put some tables out there for just some seating out there. Whether you eat or whether you just sit and
Yeah,
watch
just sit and
watch the
watch,
water. But that's the only thing that I ever foresee can happen. But
And I think-
that'll be long after I retire.
And I think it was really important for everybody to know that we got another 5-year contract. So we know they'll be here another 5 years after this contract is up, which is significant. Otherwise, we wouldn't be fiscally responsible to dump money in.
Which
Yeah,
will
because-
more than pay for the.
More than
expansion.
pay.
Yeah.
Obviously,
More than
quite a
Yeah,
bit
because if
more
we did
than
this
pay.
expansion, and he walked after the end of his contract, you guys would be good with us.
The first 9 months.
It should be
Okay.
paid, yeah, it'll be paid
Oh,
off
you're right.
within.
I mean, we
9
make
months,
about-
9 months out of 5
We
years.
make about $90,000-ish a year from them being here.
So 1 year we're.
Yeah.
I
increasing.
mean,
I know
we're
Chris
already,
doesn't
we're
wanna
already
hear it,
300
but-
grand ahead.
Right, no, I mean, I get it. I'm glad
Oh, I
to hear it,
agree.
I am.
Yeah.
Plus,
I
that's,
just-
I don't have the numbers to prove what I'm telling you right now, but I can tell you that with my estimates, we're looking at 5 more years. The entire building, the whole infrastructure is paid for by the Psalms return on that investment.
Even the marina, not just the restaurant.
Marina as well.
We're talking
Yeah.
marina,
The whole
parking
facility.
lots.
The whole
All
$1.3
of it.
million project in about a total of 9 years.
That nobody here,
Will be
it won't
paid
be out of
off.
pocket.
That didn't come out of anybody's pocket here.
Nobody's-
Right, I got you.
A little foresight by everybody who did that and everybody on the previous board really paid off.
So this is just another investment in something that's already proven itself. Back in the day we built that place, everybody was scared COVID was gonna cause a crisis. It didn't. They were scared that, our leaseholder, our restaurant holder might not cut it. He did. So all of the fears that were expressed back 4 years ago, they're just not there.
For what it's worth, in 10 years, I've never, ever went over our budget. I treat this like it's my own checking account. And if I didn't feel like it was worth it, I would have never, ever brought it to the board. I'd have told the Board of Health to deal with it. We'll cut the menu, whatever, but it doesn't financially make sense. To me, it financially makes sense. And
I think-
while there's some people that may think cut the menu in half, I will guarantee you that there's hundreds of people out there that would not want that.
Probably more than that, huh?
Yeah.
I don't want to see the menu cut either. I really don't, but I just want to make sure our money,
I
whatever,
understand.
whether it comes out of my pocket or not, our money.
And we
goes
like
to the right
answering
thing.
questions like that.
You know what I mean?
It makes sense what you're asking.
And I'm
And it's
not-
good to get out to the community questions that you've presented and had in a reasonable way.
Right.
We're here to address that. I am not gonna talk to you like you're dumb.
Yeah, like your buddy.
See, that's what he said to you when he walked out.
Yeah, whatever. I just rode the golf cart with him. The other thing is, I totally hate the not being able to shoot a bow.
I get it,
I don't like it.
I get it.
Like, it's a kill in 30 yards, it's 90 feet. Every one of us have a 3, 4, 5/10 of a lot acre. That's plenty to shoot a bow.
I would ask you and anybody else who is opposed to the new rule to review what Benny put together and presented at 2 different meetings.
I will. Where's that?
It's on YouTube on our YouTube, and
Okay, I'll
also
look
put
it
it on
up.
our POA.
But if you can't be safe in 90 feet, we're all screwed. I'm sorry.
That's what's been happening.
And I'm afraid we can't.
Yeah.
Some people can't. I totally agree with that.
After it came up, like a month and a half after it came up is when Benny took the pictures. So people had plenty of time to correct the fact that their backstop wasn't big enough or it was faced towards someone else's property. They did not fix it. He took pictures.
Well,
We
then-
have
then
the
I
evidence.
totally
We didn't know we were
No,
supposed to.
no.
That's not fair. We didn't know we were supposed to be
No,
changing
it didn't go
stuff.
down like that.
No,
You,
nobody knew he was coming around taking photos.
but you wouldn't think,
And
you wouldn't
if I
think,
can
hold on,
say
hold on,
real
hold on.
quick.
You wouldn't think that we're proposing a rule to ban it because of unsafe possible practices. And then
Maybe review your practices.
Well, our archery target was actually down. We pulled it because
Their
the house was
backstop's
just,
good.
we have a great backstop and the house
But what
that
if the
just
kid
went
moves in
out.
next to you who's never shot a bow?
We
and
have
he's
not
just
shot
buys
anything
one and
towards
just
Our
them.
goes out
neighbor's
there?
a law enforcement officer, if he felt
Our
in
next
danger.
one-
I understand that, but do I have to worry about the boy next door for me to shoot mine?
Yes.
Do I have? And
Yes.
I get what you're saying, yes.
do.
Maybe that kid needs hunter safety.
That's right.
But that doesn't affect me and my ability to shoot my bow and do everything the way you want it to happen
That's right.
because he's screwing up.
It's like the same
It
reason.
doesn't affect my
I'll give
ability
you
to
another
take
minute.
you.
I gotta give you another minute and then we have to move on to somebody
So,
else.
just think about it this way. There's lake rules, right? That's the dawn, there's state rules. There's rules you're not supposed to operate fast after dark, right?
I agree, yeah.
How many of you can see for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes after dark, and you probably could go fast because you have the ability to? Do you do it anyway? No, you don't.
I'd like to
Because
speak about
you follow a rule that is out there, but you have the ability to go past that rule. That's like saying the same thing about us having this rule. This rule is to protect everyone.
See, I don't agree with that.
All right, we
I
have
don't
Paul
agree with that
next
at
and
all.
then you. He had his hand up first.
I don't agree with that at all because I'm
All
gonna
right,
follow
10
the
seconds.
rules, whether it's going too fast or dark or shooting my bow. So because this guy wants to break it, doesn't mean I should be held accountable for that. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that at all, not even a little.
I think one of the things we might be missing here is that this board is created as fiduciaries for the entire community. When you come here you belong to an HOA. It's different than just belonging to a community. It's a community that is run by an HOA. These people are putting together rules and regulations so that if anything out of the ordinary happens, like someone goes 50 miles an hour across the lake in a boat and kills somebody that's swimming across the lake, the board is not going to be sued because they have a rule that says you can't do that.
Somebody gets shot by an arrow, they're going to get sued.
What's that?
If somebody gets shot by an arrow, they're going to get sued.
If they don't put a rule in that says my neighbor can shoot arrows, no, you don't, well,
No, the
you don't have to.
contractor,
They
person
are-
the
bow is liable.
The guy that shot it is liable. Sorry.
That's right.
All right, one at a time.
Let me just say, you guys can say whatever you want about liable, but as the deputy prosecutor knows, when somebody loses somebody in their family, they sue everybody. And when a board has enough money to power that family to get a multi-million-dollar settlement, they're gonna sue this board. And this board has to protect you as a community, because all that money can be gone in one incident.
So my dog might say, they're going to sue the board.
Well, you're getting pretty ridiculous there.
All right, go ahead, sir.
It's the same argument.
I'd like to
though,
bring
isn't
up
it?
something that AJ
It's
said about
Let him
lake
talk.
rules and lake safety, and how people select and choose what they decide is going to be a safety issue out here. And I'm going to bring up an event that I'm not poo-pooing on. I've had a great time at the boat poker run. The boat poker run is nothing but drunken buffoonery in boats, racing from dock to dock after shot, and I can guarantee you there is no more than 2 boats on the lake every boat poker run that have a designated sober driver. So for this committee to sit up here with a lake-sanctioned event such as the boat poker run and say you're concerned about lake safety it's BS. There's nothing that should keep, there has not been a single case of anyone getting injured from someone shooting archery on their property in the 50 years that this lake has been in existence. Not once. We have a lake manager who I quite frankly feel has a personal vendetta to spearhead this through, because Benny got sent to shut me down while I was hunting on private property, and they didn't even know what the lake rules were. The lake rules pertain to common ground, not private ground. And they got stuffed, and they got sent back to read the rule book, and they didn't like that. And now they're going to spearhead this through. That's what I see happening here. And this is a violation on all of our personal rights, as property owners, as well as state taxpayers, because the state recognizes my rights to the natural resources on my property, which include the deer and mushrooms or anything else that grow on my property. I don't even need a hunting license to kill animals and hunt them on my personal property that I pay the property taxes
I
on.
think you've missed a lot of information that was provided to us by officers last month in the DNR.
I would love to address your presentation too, because it was extremely misconstruing. You compared rifle bullets, high-powered rifle cartridges to arrows in foot-pounds and trajectory. That's like comparing bicycles to Ferraris. Yes, both will get you where you need to go, but they are 2 completely different machines.
And I believe I brought that up during that presentation. The point was to show that arrows are not less lethal than rifles.
But I also think that your presentation misled people who are not in the know that there is some infinite trajectory with arrows, and there is not.
I believe I set up to 100 or maybe 120 yards.
Really quickly. And if you're going to put your presentation up next month, again, I would like to also have a presentation put up, and I can even show you some pictures of a DNR archery range that has a road and power lines in the photograph of the DNR rifle, of the DNR archery range, just as an example of this was misleading. And I'm not personally attacking you, but I also want to say to the fact that this was originally brought up by Ken, and the board said that this issue shouldn't be brought up by a non-board member, and yet it's still been pushed through by POA property management. Benny was probably paid to write that presentation up and do all that. That's our money paying him, when in fact a board member should have been the one working on this. So I just see all kinds of things that have just not fallen down the right. And I'm sorry, Alyssa, if I'm staring at you. You're the president. I should shift my focus a little bit, but I guess, you can see I'm obviously heated. I'm also kind of upset with the fact that I arrived a little late at the end of Deputy Simmons' presentation, and when he relieved himself and walked out, Ken, you got up and apparently asked him to come back in and sit for the rest of the meeting. You did?
I did.
Is there something that
Not with you, it had nothing to do with you.
Okay, it seemed awfully strange that
Not you.
we showed
Others.
up and then that happened, so I don't come here, with any ill intent.
Wasn't you.
towards anyone
I don't
or
feel
anything,
threatened by
so.
you.
Okay.
I'm not worried about you.
All right.
Wasn't
That's kind of what I have to say in a nutshell, but,
One thing I think we're getting off the course here, I'm not a hunter, I don't care, I don't shoot. 20 years ago it may have been okay. But what we have to look at is the amount of houses that's gone up in this community. And I can tell you, over by me, if somebody was shooting, I'd be concerned. I've got grandkids and stuff, there's kids out playing, but we've got to realize times have changed, man. I'm not taking anything from you guys.
I understand what you're saying.
Hunters are hunters.
It is much more developed now. I moved here 20 years ago.
I've been coming out here since late 80s, early 80s, and you couldn't see a house, across the way. Now that's all you see is houses. And again, I think we just need to look at the way the community's developed. We've got less open space in between houses and stuff, and that's the concern from my part.
I understand.
That's the concern from my part.
I would simply rebuttal that with the fact that when I lived in Indianapolis, I could shoot in Indianapolis, and my best friend still lives there, and he has a safe backstop, and he shoots, and he lives on the.
Well, they're still shooting in Indianapolis, about 22 a weekend.
Well, I'm talking about firearms. I've got new holes in my, oh no, I know, all about it. I've got new holes in my commercial roof downtown Indianapolis, 4th of July, so I understand all
We don't
that.
want to take stuff from you guys, but it's just got to be the safety of the community.
And the thing too about this is that this rule also without, inadvertently skirts the entire issue of no hunting on your own property. Because if I can't shoot a firearm or archery equipment, it automatically defaults me being able to hunt on my own property, even if it's an undeveloped lot.
That is true.
And I also like to bring one more thing up, and then I'm done. They have I brought this up in the last time, they have deer reduction zones inside Indianapolis, inside Greenwood, and Terre Haute. People hunt these animals inside city ordinances, and they do it safely.
Every day.
All year long.
On that, I'd say rules can change, right? Even if this does or does not pass, rules can change, board members change, situations change, and also things can be added or taken away, especially regarding potential reduction hunts. This, no matter what happens, it's not final.
I think that should be open for discussion somehow.
I would like to just add too on the denseness of the population. I talked to my attorney about several of these things, and he said his neighbor shoots and they live in Zionsville and they are extremely densely populated in there. So
It's
man,
the safety
it does
issue.
happen. I would like to just be able to have some guidelines laid out and allow us a chance to move our archery targets or set them up better and make a better practice of it. But I think the photographing kind of happened and no one knew that was happening. I mean, nobody stopped at our house.
I understand what you're
talked to
saying, but at the
us.
same time, I feel like it's a fair representation of what's going on.
Fair enough.
It wasn't meant.
And it was after.
When this was
We
first
weren't
came
offered
up,
anything, we weren't offered a, like, hey, this isn't safe.
What way do you
move it.
shoot? Are you gonna
No one
move it?
reached out to us.
and I don't think we should have. I think it was just a natural setting of where
Fair
we're
enough.
at.
Sure, but I didn't even
That
have
was
a
by
target
the
in front.
request of board members to know what's
Technically in the photo,
happening.
there's no target.
It
It's
was
just a
not,
backstop.
it was for education of everybody who has to make that decision.
And that was after a meeting where everyone came and said, hey, we're doing this responsibly. I mean, we had a ton of people that came to this meeting and said, we're doing this responsibly.
We're responsible shooters.
And
In
then
their
a
minds,
month later,
They feel like that, but I mean, if it's not safe, if it doesn't appear that way, but there are state guidelines and there isn't anything out there that, you know, to go on. It would be something we would have to kind of generate from scratch, and I don't.
So, I
All
got
right.
one more thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you like a minute.
You don't even have to, I don't need a minute. So, the unresponsible boat guy that's driving fast at dark, he ruins me being able to drive at dark?
Drive fast.
I don't think he does, right? So why does the unresponsible boat shooter
Yeah,
disregard me from being able to shoot my boat?
and there isn't.
I'm sorry, that guy's in violation. Yes, I agree with you. He's terrible, it doesn't make sense, he shouldn't be able to shoot. But if I want to shoot and I do it in a safe manner, I should be able to shoot.
I understand your point of view.
Do you see what I mean?
I do, I understand.
I'm not gonna speed on my boat after dark, but that guy might.
But if
Sorry.
that guy on the water is caught, we have fines and penalties to kick them off the water.
So they must get fines and penalties to stop an unsafe shooter.
I think our chief stated that there was laws against that was criminal recklessness. That would be your penalty for doing that.
For shooting?
In an unsafe manner, yes.
Sure.
Well, then,
That's
goes into it.
better.
like, I mean, what do you do at that point?
I think the point is what Paul said regarding having some responsibility for the community. And so this is our way of protecting the community and being fiscally responsible as best we
The
can.
law-abiding, good citizens take the hit. Because we're gonna protect everybody because of a couple bets.
I get your point of view, but
That
sometimes
just
hard
doesn't make
decisions,
sense.
You could
hard
say
decisions
that.
have to be made.
You could say that about any law or any.
That's right.
No, I totally agree with you, that's why I don't agree with the way we're doing this.
Speed limit wasn't
Exactly
lowered.
why.
But the problem is, if you wait until
Well,
somebody
we're
gets
too late.
killed to enact these kind of rules, then I think we would be somewhat negligent, at least morally. Okay.
Well, I appreciate everybody's input, and I think we're gonna wrap up after this comment.
It's well known that we're the second largest population center in Putnam County. And I wonder, have we looked at what kinds of rules, laws, ordinances, et cetera, happen at the largest, which is Greencastle, or the third largest, which is Cloverdale, and we're kind of in the middle? Have we looked at this?
I think it's
Yeah.
been discussed.
Yes,
as
that
part of
discussed,
this.
and then also with law enforcement and DNR.
All right, motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? All right, thank you.